Hey, new little video on this one, little update on stuff, and as well as a little update on wound care. And the reason I have a little grin is, and I won't do the I told you so dance, but I was reading an article, and there's a pretty cool little paragraph, and that's I'm going to read it and stuff, and I'll put the link for the articles because it was pain and wound care, and how about half of the article was about pain, and it's not too technical, but it was very good to explain the different type of pain and how pain kind of so chronic pain, acute pains, how the different ways that it provides and stuff, and so it's good to have in your mind when you're talking about pain, because that's when you go see a doctor or another healthcare professional and stuff, and they're dealing with your pain. That's what they're thinking about, like where is the pain's coming from, and then different modality can help. So like if you give opioids, the only thing it does, so morphines and stuff, when we talk about opioids, all it does is it tells your brain that to not care about your pain. Doesn't mean the pain is not there, but it says not to care. Versus if you take something like Advil or something, it will decrease the inflammatory process, and sometimes also decrease the decrease the inflammation in the edema, which creates that pressure, and that's what you're feeling, things, or ice and heat and all that. Those other modalities, or massage, that's their kind of another one, but it's not with medication, but non others. So anyway, yeah, they were talking about that. Let's start with the update. As you can see, new background. So I just moved. I'm in BC now, and I'm looking forward to it because it's a new type of environment. So you'll start seeing a little bit more videos on water sports, so sea kayaking and things like that, and real sea kayaking, because I'm about 10 minutes from the ocean here, so Pacific Ocean, and as well as on my previous video, this weekend I'm going in the mountains for a course, and so I'll be going put down on the GoPro, and it's on 2 weekends, so probably I'll post after the second weekend, so I can kind of do a mix of all what happened during that course and stuff. The first weekend is the course himself, so knots and ropes and things. The second weekend, it's a little bit a refresh, and then on the second day, if weather permits, we're going to try to climb this mountain. And again, I'm new to the environment, new to the area, so never heard of it or never seen, but it looks like a little bit kind of glacier walk in some place, and there's snow and stuff, so should be interesting. Otherwise, for videos, now because I move and stuff, my stuff is kind of in boxes again and things, but I'm still working on the projects, paperworks and stuff. The medical kit is kind of a little bit on the side for a little while, because now I'm in a new environment, and with that too is dealing with new stuff, like tsunamis, earthquakes, which I never really had to do when I was back where in Alberta. So now I'm starting to read more, and actually I found this great channel, the Urban Prepper, and I'm reading watching a lot of his video and stuff, and plus he's on the same kind of environment than I am. Actually, I think he's about 2 hours from where I live. I'm living, because he's been living there for a while, and so it's a brand new environment for me. Like the ocean, I never really, like, I've been to it, but living near it and stuff, and so that's something that I'm working a little bit more, especially being in an urban environment and my new environment. Here, there's a rainforest more, so it's more humid and stuff. So all brand new stuff. So I'm going to be doing more, acting more on that stuff. I mean, my kit, I'll come back and do work on it and stuff. But it's kind of on the good. But I want to be prepared for more things, and so that's why I'm doing course as well. I'm still working on my ham radio. I think I should be able to take the exam around July. I've been watching a lot of videos pretty much every day, and I've been reading a little bit on every time like antenna and all this and impedance, and because every time they talk about a word, I'm like, oh crap, I have to watch this, and so I have to watch because I never did electronics or didn't know anything about electronics. So actually, it's very good. I'm learning a lot of stuff in the thing. So yeah, July-ish, I should be taking my exam. And then after that, we'll be buying gear. So you may see start seeing a few videos on that, as soon as I get my license, I want to join the emergency preparedness radios people, so that way I can know about my gear and how to prepare it, and knowing this is the whole purpose of doing the AM radio. I'm not really into HF and talking to people around the world and stuff. It's more about being prepared and what to do in case of disaster and be there for communication. So might as well join a group, and I think they have exercise twice a year or 2 or 3 times a year, and they have nets and stuff like that. So it's going to be good practice. So that should be August-ish, September, once I buy gear and start talking. So you'll start seeing some videos about that. Like I was saying too, now that I'm in a new environment, I may start going for courses on earthquakes and tsunami, like for preparedness. Actually, there's one in Seattle that I may look at. It's called Light Search and Rescue, which is actually, it looks pretty cool. I think it's like 3 or 4 hours, and it's like how to search so if there's an earthquake, obviously, like homes and stuff, and so how to search and stuff like that, a house and things like that. So I may look into this, and in the environment, in the area here, there's a lot more that I heard about, or maybe I was not looking hard enough in Alberta, but there was a lot more talk on preparedness and this, because I think they're more prone to it here, because earthquakes, I forgot the numbers, but they're pretty frequent here and things. So my preparedness will be a little bit less medical, more on the urban side and stuff. So just be prepared to see more videos on bug-out bags and stuff like that, which, interesting enough, they seem to be getting more hits than my medical ones, despite that it's more a medical channel. Anyway, so yeah, so that's for the update, and so now let's talk about that wound stuff. So the wound care, yes, I was reading a nice article, and I'll quote from the things. So, in addition, dry out dressing and aggressive adhesive were most likely to cause pain during dressing removal. It has been demonstrated that patients reported more pain with gauze dressing than with any other advanced wound care dressing. Wound contains fragile tissue, and the removal of an aggressive dressing can cause trauma to not only the wound, but the periwound tissue as well. One way to limit pain on dressing removal is by using dressing to promote atraumatic removal to prevent trauma from occurring. And they mentioned the little research that was proving about that gauze versus the dressing. Love that. I love that. So basically, it's what I've been trying to tell. I keep telling on YouTube, and actually, a lot of people like, no, they're too expensive. They do this and stuff. But this is why I think they're the best dressings for a bug out situation, or long or self-reliance medicine, or for a long term. One. I mentioned that many times, but I want to get back to it. One, there's less waste. You saw in the videos of the series on my thumb, is that I did 4 dressing change, and that was it. 4 or 5 dressing change, and that was it for the month that I had to do my dressing. 4 in a month. That's it. Versus if I would have done the same thing for the gauze, would have been 2 to 3 a day for a month. And so you make the calculation right there. And as well as now the waste that would have come out of this, because those gauze, you have to put them somewhere, would have been, so you have to get rid of them. And then now if nobody's picking up your garbage and stuff, because for whatever reason there's a disaster or something, now you have to get rid of those biohazard stuff. And I mean, it is bioliquids. and it can attract animals, it can attract other stuff, the smell of it. I mean, you know, like when you have like a wound, well, imagine that it's outside now under the sun and stuff, and so you have to get rid of it somehow. Versus those other dressing, you barely smell it, and there's again 4. So basically during the whole month, it would have been like a little something like this. So pretty much nothing. So versus the other one, and I was saying, you know, like if you put gauze and stuff, it would have been maybe that thick. So you're not talking about 1 gauze, we're talking about 5 or 6 or even maybe more. So that's what basically they're saying. So the second thing too is the pain, because this dressing, because it was gel and I showed it in the videos, I didn't feel anything. It got tight a little bit, maybe, but when I remove it, the tissue that is under was granulated and was healing, and so I didn't remove it. Versus, it's a little bit like imagine, you know, when you do if you put like clothes, wet clothes on ice and you remove that, well, you know the clothes, how they pull. Well, gauze does exactly this to your tissue as it dries out, and it will dry. It will dry. Even Telfa, which a lot of people say, no, it's not adhesive. It is adhesive. It will attach to. Maybe not as much as gauze, but it will. Versus any of the other dressings, no matter how much crap you put on those things, they won't attach. If you use, again, the proper dressing. If I put like a dressing that has no exudate, and I put a big sponge on the top there, I'm going to basically dry any liquid that it is, and then the tissue will be, but it's just because you chose the wrong dressing. Now it's not the fault of the dressing, it's the user fault. Versus gauze, that you choose the gauze or not the gauze, it will stay there. So yeah, when you remove it, it removes the little piece, and so that's what they were talking about. The periwound tissue as well. One way to limit the dressing, and aggressive dressing can cause not only wound but the periwound tissue as well. So that's the part of the dressing. So yes, they are more expensive, but they take less space. So it's a little bit like being a light hiker and a regular hiker with big tents and stuff. So, but there's a lot of advantage on the wounds there too, is that you can carry more, you can do more stuff with them. It's worth the investment that you have, because like I said, for about $100, maybe up like let's say to $200, you can pretty much have the kit that can last for a month or 2 months and take care of anything. So like burns, big wounds and things like that, you'll be able to take care of them at home versus the gauze stuff. So anyway, I wanted to and like I said, I'll put the link on the bottom there, and as well as I was reading another article in I think a month ago or 2-3 weeks ago, and it was an article from 1917, I think. And the guy was talking about dry wet gauze that they were using at that time, and he was saying that it was against the time frame. It was almost inhuman to do that, and that was 1917. So when I read that, I was like, wow. So even back then, they knew that gauze was not the greatest thing ever. So anyway, I just wanted to do a little video, an update, and I was too happy to see this, and I won't do I told you to dance, but yeah. Anyway, talk to you soon, and look forward to that video for Montanari.